Welcome to The Art of Gardening. I'm your host, Melissa Lalo Johnson, and today I am going to take you through one of my very biggest loves that is very underrated on my page because I really never show them, but I love Marimo balls. And so they're very, very easy, very low maintenance. There is literally nothing you can do to kill these things. So if you are new to gardening, this is a great way to start, just to have something green, have some plants in your house that are very low maintenance. So let me give you a little bit of background. Marimo balls come from Japan. They live in creek beds where it's shaded and very cold. So they're tumbling in the creek beds, and that is how they keep their round shape. They grow very, very, very slowly. This pack was bought off of Amazon, I think between 4 to 5 years ago, and they have really thrived. I mean, it was a pack of 6 of them, and I have 2 babies that have since been born from this group. So they sit on the corner of my kitchen where I get very little to no light, and I always had trouble having things live there. So then finally I gave this a crack, and they have been thriving there. So again, they love cold water, and they love really little to no maintenance. So I know now when it's time to change the water. When I first got them, I was really good about changing the water. I change it every week or every 2 weeks max. Sometimes I go even 3 weeks. And I always change it before people come over, or we're having a party or something, I'll flip it out, because here's what happens. This is how I know it's time to change the water today. I've got some evaporation of the water, so it leaves some yucky water lines. There's also gross film on the top. So now it is time to change them out. Let me show you how easy this is. Meet me at the sink. So taking care of your Marimo balls is very simple. All you have to do is rinse them out every single time you change the water. So I'm gonna start by emptying this water. And you have to be careful if you've got babies that are growing, because they are very small when they grow. Oh, there went a baby. Okay, that's a baby, so be careful when you're emptying the water. In fact, I should have probably taken them out first, but I'll do that right now. So I start with just running cold water, and I take them out. And so the crazy part is they're hollow inside. There's not, they're just kind of like they're just completely hollow. So I squeeze them out, and I run them under the water, and I give them I squeeze them pretty good. I give them a couple good squeezes, and then I always use like a plate or something, because I wipe my counters down with various different things, and I don't want anything from what I wipe the counters down, if it's vinegar or orange glow or anything. I don't want that to affect them. So I just take them, squeeze them out a few times. This will release any of the ammonia that gets trapped in them. And again, this is really cold water. These are really old. The big one, I've been told, is probably 40 years old at this point. So, and another thing with the Marimo balls is that there were some things that went on a few years ago. I noticed during COVID, where some of the Marimo balls that were coming into our country had an invasive snail in them. So if you happen to find, let me find that other baby. If you happen to, oh, there he is. If you happen to get Marimo balls and you notice any signs of snails, that is a good sign to throw them away immediately. I believe the problem's been mostly rectified. I mean, I haven't bought Marimo balls in a hot minute, but if you notice any snails in them, and you cannot wash them down the drain, or squeeze them out in the water, you have to, because they go into the water supply. And so it was a really big problem a few years ago. But I just very simply, so these rocks I got at Lowe's, and I love buying these rocks, because rocks, if you go to like Hobby Lobby or Michael's, they are so expensive to buy like decorative rocks. And so for a big bag, I mean, this was a couple years ago, again, everything has gone up, but a couple years ago, it was like $3 or $4 for like a huge bag of these. And so then I just keep them in my garage and then pull from them when I need to, but they're really pretty colors. And then I always drop in like some of my quartz, and there's some hematite in here too. So what I'll do is separate out the crystals that are in here, which if you watch my other videos, I absolutely love hematite. So pretty. What I love about these, I think they just add something to the whole look of it, which you'll see when we put it all together. But I get these at the Gem and Mineral Show. They come around here every March and every November. So I'm always telling people, check your local listings for Gem and Mineral shows. Ours is Shows of Integrity. That's what comes around here. So I love buying stuff like that there to be able to use in things just like this. So a lot of that water is dirty and yucky. I'm gonna pour through this rock one more time. And if you get this rock from any of the big stores that sell the big bags, you're gonna wanna rinse the rock really well before you put it in any of your arrangements, because a lot of it's pretty dirty. So then just by simply going through the hematite and pulling that out, it's kind of given new life to the rocks. I use a paper towel and I wipe down the inside. And then now I will just start to refill just as it is with cold tap water. Again, these things are so low maintenance, they don't even care. They just want fresh water to stay super green. They love the cold temperatures. So like in my house, it's pretty cold. It's like, I don't know, we keep it at like 68 or 69 during the day. So they love the cold temperatures. And when it gets warm in the summer, sometimes you'll start to notice a little bit of a tinge on them of brown, but that's it. You just give them a nice cold rinse and they'll perk right back up. But I really don't even have to do that. So I'm gonna fill this glass container back up. I got this at Michael's, so they have these by the dozens, so you can pick whatever shape suits you. And let's head back over to the counter so I can show you how we put this together. So for the sake of a good show, I'm bringing them over here, but typically I just kind of throw everything back in over at the sink. Again, this water is really cold and these are hollow inside, so when you put them inside the water, they will kind of float around, which is also a really cool thing. As they begin to lose the oxygen that's inside of them, then they will kind of like go to varying heights inside the bowl, which is really cool. So first I'm going to start by dropping the hematite back in, and I'll just kind of place this around the bowl. And again, I do this because otherwise they get lost down in the rocks. So put that in there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and just drop these guys right in. That's it, it's that easy. So a couple more things to note. Again, they get this round shape from being tossed around in a creek bed. So when you put them in your vase or container, whatever you're using, you're going to want to, especially if you're changing the water bi-weekly, kind of turn the vase around to kind of make them tumble a little bit, and that will help them retain their shape. And then these are the little babies. They're so tiny. Drop those in. And when you are turning them, sometimes the little babies get caught underneath rocks, so which is okay for them. They'll actually continue to grow. That's actually how I found out that I had them, was I saw them wedged in between rocks at the bottom. So they're fine until they get a little bit older. So the other thing you want to make sure that you do not do with these is put them in direct sunlight. So they are on the bottom of a creek bed in Japan, so they do not want direct sunlight. And if you do put them in a place of direct sunlight, especially when the water gets a little warmer, they will start to turn brown and kind of get like a brown haze to them. So yes, keeping them turned, watering, squeezing them out, and then mixing them with gems, minerals, and rocks is a really beautiful, easy presentation that I absolutely adore, and I hope you do too. So definitely check out the Next Art of Gardening. We have new episodes coming up every single week. You can find us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Until next time, friends.